This broadcast is inappropriate for all ages, right here on the Watch Spot. I am Kamurai, and we're here to talk about things and stuff we've been watching and whatnot. So that's a framey thingy that we do to make our face out of the middle of the camera. That's my idiot voice, if you didn't know. Or I could talk like Adam West. No, probably not. Catch making weird noises. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into it because I'm tired already. I stayed late to finish a couple things so I could talk about it tonight instead of waiting another week. And I didn't get everything I wanted to watch done, but we're there. I'm constantly behind, and it's just the way life is. But I can listen to podcasts and stuff at work, so that's what I've been keeping up more with. Of course, Rooster Teeth. For whatever reason, we didn't have a Patch Game Club. I think it was because Jack was out of town or something, and they wanted to do Rocket League, and they wanted to do it as a company or some shit. And they need to just delay those when they get those. It's annoying. Okay, so the RTA. This is one of the best RTAs ever. I remember hearing this story. I'm like, oh, I hope they do this as RTA. Yeah, having a switch that doesn't go to the things in the room is just dumb. X-Ray Vav apparently is going on. Stranger Hood Stranger Hood is going on. I thought it was season 2 that was supposed to be coming out, and maybe I'm just being ridiculous and by not actually looking, because I was never really interested in Stranger Hood. It just never really struck my fancy. But On the Spot came back. I think they're in a new season. Funhouse was there, so they may have just been doing a special one. Very funny. If you're not familiar with the Funhouse guys, it's a great way to get introduced to them. It really is. Let's see. I think that's everything. I don't like how the new site's set up. Oh, RTS. I really wish it was a better name, but it's supposed to be Colin's show. It's supposed to be from the California studio, and Colin gets his own show now. And Sports Ball is a thing that happens that I'm not listening to because I don't listen or watch the Sports Balls. And that's fine if you like Sports Balls, be a geek and enjoy your thing. I just don't know. I think this is supposed to be season 2 of Stranger Hood episode 1. Because there's an episode 1 from 10 years ago, and the episode 1 from 9 hours ago makes a lot more sense. But I don't even remember Stranger Hood enough to go in there. Whereas I can't wait for Red vs. Blue to come back around. So let's move on to Geek and Sundry. Cooperatude's like on hiatus now. And I'm such a little bitch because I keep saying we get caught up on things, and I didn't put out a single bad summary all week. But I only have a couple get caught up on Heroes of Awesome, and then I think I can charge through Titan's Grave, and then I can start getting back around to some of the longer ones. I've got a Twilight Chorus that I need to watch. The new one's apparently coming out sooner than later. And then Brandon is also running Endless Dance of Silver is another campaign he's running. It's on his If You Wizardry D&D channel. I really wish we could get names for him, but the requirements have changed. So now to get a /name for YouTube, it's very different than it was when I had to do it. So between like Brandon and Mayhem's Muse, I really wish he did. And Jen's actually doing a really cute thing called Gaming with Mayhem for her stream name, and I really like that. And it makes me wish I was doing something like Game Time, or I was calling it Gaming Division The Bridge. And that's probably what I'll do, is I'll call it Gaming Division whatever. And I'll go back and number things because, fuck. Like, the bridge is just destroyed because of all the crashes. So the goal is just going to be to get better, move on. I'm finally talking to Windows support about some of that. Looking at my YouTube history real quick, I'm seeing a couple rotations of the Fine Brothers and React channel. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, God, that tastes bad. Mythical Morning, the Rooster Teeth podcast I've been listening to. Apparently, the Game of Rick show is bringing back a PS PlayStation podcast. It's kind of funny, guys. I'm sorry. PS I Love You, the new PlayStation podcast. So I haven't gotten over to that yet, but I'll report back soon enough. The weirdling news, Mary the Knitting Dev has started her BoardGames.news segment. I think it's going to be a monthly news segment. Definitely very interesting. Vlogbrothers, co-optional, weirdlings. How to. I've had the urge to watch more gameplay footage stuff, and How To is probably still one of my favorites, just because of the eccentricity of it. And then the Rat Kids are good. Amanda Loon and Brandon Zern had a unboxing for D&D minis, if that's a thing for you. Yeah, so nothing truly interesting to talk about on the YouTubes. Let's see, it's the 29th, so I want to go back to like the 22nd forward, right? So let's talk about Netflix real quick. 72 Dangerous Animals Australia. If you want a silly documentary about dangerous Australian animals to fall asleep to, that's a good one. I can vouch for it. I watched something called Wicked Little Things. Now I have to be careful because some of these I turned on and I turned off, and at different times, and I don't know why. Wicked Little Things, I can't imagine. That sounds like a horror movie. I remember Man Up in Byzantium. Wicked Little Things. Widow and two daughters moved to an isolated house in the mountains. Oh, that was when Chloe Moretz was wee. It's the one where the assholes use children to work in the mines, and then they blow them all up, and the children come back as zombies and kill everyone until they can get their revenge on the person they actually want to kill. I just told you the whole movie. You don't really have to watch it, but if it sounds like your sort of thing, watch it by all means. It's not bad, but it's one of those movies where it's like it's really not that good either. Men, Women, and Children. This caught my eye. I don't know why, but Jennifer Garner is in it. Judy Greer is in it. Adam Sandler's actually in it. I cannot remember her name offhand, but Eve Baxter from Last Man Standing is in it as well. There's a couple of the guys I recognize, but I don't remember their names either. So like in the big black guy that was having an affair with Adam Sandler's wife, that was an interesting thing as well. Apparently, Mr. Rick and Mark's going on right now as well. I need to catch up on them. Netflix is starting to bother me a little bit because their categories on their newer layout, aren't making a lot of sense. There's recently added, there's trending now, there's top picks for me, there's new releases, which I get recently added, should be things that were recently added, but they should also be things that were recently added and not new releases. And then there's popular on Netflix, which doesn't make any sense that it's any different from this. And now, just to frustrate me, they've changed it to look more sensible. But when it's late at night, you're trying to throw something on. It's really hard to deal with that. So Man Up, it reminded me of like an old Bill and Ted or Wayne's World or whatever. It's this, for whatever reason, slacker Chinese kid and his, I think, Filipino friend. The way some of their speech, it's just the way it looked like. I think the joke or whatever is supposed to be that they're Asian, and we're like Asians are stereotypically like very productive. So it's him and his best friend, and then he knocks up his hot ginger Mormon girlfriend, and then she leaves him because he's irresponsible. So he takes a quest to man up. And that goes so well, let me tell you. But it's just a thing, and there's some nice little twists. It's actually, like, if you actually look at it, like, academically, it's got a lot of good things in it, but it's not, like, the most gripping of stories. There's several cringe-worthy comedy moments in there, and it's like, oh, I hate you, just get hit by a truck. I think there's a point where they actually lose a baby. That's probably a spoiler, but you don't need to bother, honestly. I found the girlfriend who wasn't in the movie for most of it to be the best part, which isn't a great sign. And I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it, but there were several points where it's like I could just turn this off now and I'd be fine, which is not a good sign for your movie. Byzantium. This has a young lady in it that I'm going to watch anything she's in. She was the star of Host. I think it's Gemma Arterton. In this, she plays a vampire. She has a vampire buddy that's trying to protect her. But they're day walking vampires, which I have a little bit of a problem with. But they play it off really well because, of course, they have the long life and live by blood type thing. And it's almost more like they actually drink Life Force, the way they go about it, because she always tries to drink from... and the X7 is this really early on. She tries to drink from people who are about to die anyways and they're ready to go, so that she can drink them to death. Because she does drink some blood that's not to someone's death, but whatever. What makes it interesting is the controversy that I don't want to spoil over their situation, how they became vampires, and what's going on with other people who may or may not know they're vampires. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because I would suggest you go watch Byzantium. It's a very good movie. I would suggest you watch anything else she's in as well. Queens of the Ring was a little weird. This was a foreign movie that had a horribly placed dub. I think it was a French movie. It was all about this girl. She gets out of jail, or lady gets out of jail. She finds a job so that she can start visitation rights with her son. He's into wrestling, so she ends up getting some of the other cashier clerks at the grocery store she works at to join her in her quest to become professional wrestlers. It sounds so ridiculous, and it is, but it's actually pretty good. And then there's actually lots of nice moments about like what it is to do wrestling and what the characters are and how the fans respect it and how it is in a different country and like how scared or not like it actually is to go and do that sort of thing. So I really related to it. I liked it a lot. So if you want to watch a movie that's not super great, but can tug at your heartstrings a little bit, The Queens of the Ring will definitely do it. The rest of this is stupid documentary stuff that I throw on to fall asleep, and like Cane Toads was actually kind of interesting for a minute before I conked out. Okay, so I'm going to keep trying to blast through this, but we've got a lot of new shows popping up, and then I had this horrible habit of going through, especially with anime lately, and discovering it. I don't know if I talked about is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon or not. I love the question, so it's what made me click on it, and that and Jesse Cox. But I really like that they brought it all to this great conclusion, and I really am hoping that they bring more of it out later. Modern Family started back up. I know a lot of people like Modern Family. It's not the best show in the world to me, but I get that people like it, and I definitely want to keep up with it because I do like it. It's enjoyable. It's... Okay, I'll start recording. I don't know why it doesn't auto-record now. Stop it! Sorry, give me just a second to make sure this isn't going to crash again. Yeah, that's what we want. Let's go start the next stream. Idiot cat. Okay. Hopefully it's going to hold. What I was saying is, with the number of cast members they have for that show, they do such a good job at balancing it. I would like to see them let other things go and reconcentrate on some of the things that are going on with other parts of the family members for a little bit. What I'd really like is to see like Alex get her own show and have that be like Alex College Years or Modern College Years or something ridiculous like that. It's not anything that I could ever see happening, but it's what I would want, and it's what should have happened to like shows like Glee, and I think they're eventually going to burn themselves out going on like that. But I mean, season 7, gotta be proud of them. The middle, the girl who plays Sue Heck is fantastic. I feel like the guy who plays Axel gets off a little bit easy, and everyone else kind of plays these hectic characters, and the kid who plays Brick is just super weird, and like he just amps that up. But Sue Heck takes like a lot of energy. I got a lot of respect for that character, and this was definitely all about her, as it's her going off to call. What are we gonna get out of Brick? I mean, like Frankie and oh jeez, like Mike don't have a lot going on their own. Their whole stick is that they can't handle their kids and their lives, and like it really, like, if they just have Brick to deal with, I think it'll balance out a little bit. Castle, I was super happy to see Castle come back on, but I'm going to circle back and talk about that later because episode 2 is available. I want to talk about it all at once. Okay, I'll go ahead and talk about Punchline right now. Stupid anime that I've discovered, or for whatever reason, Punchline, and I got the recommendation for Punchline off, like, not Danbo, but like one of these top 10 craziest animes or whatever. The whole shtick is that there is a guy who lives at this community house, and when he sees girls' panties, he gets excited, and then he, like, faints, or his superpowers activate. Wild, crazy things that cause funny mishaps, and it turns out it's actually got a really serious storyline with a lot of goofy shit in it, because it's all about magical spirits and time travel and trying to save the world. Totally worth the watch. It's why I got sucked into it so hard. I'll be honest. Last Man Standing is back. The Wolf returned. Tim Allen apparently has been away. He comes back, and they all have to adjust to being back. And Mandy's been gone for the summer as well, so her and Eve are at each other's throats. Mr. Alzante has his own kind of things going on. Chris has their own things going on. And then so the mom and dad characters are fighting each other as well. And so it's all about resolving loneliness issues for things that are going away. It's very poignant. It's almost too highbrow for that show, but they do it in very standard delivery, so yay. Fresh off the boat, for whatever reason, I started watching this one again. I can't say like I enjoyed the first season a lot. I'm definitely not going to go back and watch it again. I think I'll watch the second season just because it's there, and I kind of want to see where it's going, because I enjoyed the 90s, and I remember a lot of this shit. And the kid from Kids React is there, and at the end of this episode, he has a very funny outfit, making a very funny 90s reference that I really enjoyed. And it honestly was worth the show for that whole build-up. So, Muppets! I was super excited to hear that the Muppets have a new TV show. I was not so much excited that it was called The Muppets, but it was actually Up Late with Miss Piggy. Now, if we were going to do this, I would have required that you actually do the show Up Late with Miss Piggy, and then you have the behind-the-scenes show, which would be The Muppets. But you wouldn't call it that. You'd call it Up Late with Miss Piggy the Muppets, but you call it something else related to the show, so that you can have the actual Muppet or the actual Up Late with Miss Piggy show, and then you have the Muppets doing the thing, because it should have been the Muppet Show. They should have just brought back the Muppet Show and then give Miss Piggy a segment where she sits down and interviews people, because you can't. Fuck. I don't know what these Tonight shows are like. They're really sitting down for an hour talking to assholes? No. They're sitting down with them for maybe 20 minutes. You do that as one part of the show, and you do like an hour-long show like the Muppets used to be. And I mean, it was great. It was a great format. It was a timeless format. You just update the technology, and you're good to go. Come on, Henson Company. Well, actually, it's Disney now. I'm mad at Disney again. I'm mad at them a lot. More Punchline. Family Guy. For whatever reason, they decided to call it Pilling Them Softly, which is an obvious mark to Glenn Quagmire being a rapist. So I was waiting for that shoe to drop the whole time. Has nothing to do with the fucking episode. It's a cook-off thing where, like, Glenn wants to go on this TV show, become a TV chef, and sorry, it's funny to see the cats play. wants to be a TV chef, and they only accept him because Peter's funny, and then they have creative differences. They have to cook off against each other, and then they decide friendship is more important than their TV shows. There, you don't have to watch it now. Last Man on Earth. I'll be honest, I didn't really enjoy the first season. I thought it was kind of silly. I thought there was a lot of things you could have lost in that show. That first episode of season 2 blew me away, though. And if I hadn't watched season 1, it wouldn't have meant shit. I'll be honest. They really brought it on season 2 here, because now they're not just stuck in Tucson being jackasses. Well, okay, he's still driving around being a jackass. But he's actually got, like, good character now. He's learned some lessons. We're starting to see stuff from the space station. We're seeing important dramatic events come out of this ridiculous comedy show for this really ridiculous scenario that we're dealing with. For all apocalyptic style stories, this is really kind of odd, like, when it comes down to it. It's very different. I would have rather had zombies. Yeah. Just because I like zombies, if you do them right. But one day when I'm old, I'll make a zombie show. Just be like, remember when we had these? Fuck you. We're gonna do it my way. And then I will. But very powerful episode for Last Man on Earth. You would not have expected it from this comedy writer show, because it's what they are. They're, like, most of the cast you're gonna recognize they're comedians / writers, and comedians / writers tend to write things for comedians / writers, which makes the jokes a little over the top. Not over the top, but less palatable. It's just a fact. If you don't believe me, go watch They Came Together. Chock full of it. Okay, so Bob's Burgers. I thought I was done with Bob's Burgers. I thought it was a canceled show. I'm very happy that it's continuing to go on. Very weird way to start season 6, though. It's no content. It's all talking about, like, the past of how they met, and the kids go through their what if scenarios if he didn't have a mustache. So if it's not setting up for things later in the season, I don't know what they're doing. Once Upon a Time. God damn. Talk about shows that bring it. This show has been mostly fantastic for its entirety. Neverland got a little old a little fast. It's just what it was, because we all kind of saw certain things coming, and it's like, yeah, let's get on with it. But man, did they bring it. And I don't know what happened or what, but Zelina was kind of hot. I don't know if it was just kind of like her really whipping out the acting this time. Maybe I just had a change of heart, hormones, whatever. But she was looking really good, and I really liked the spunk that her character had. And maybe it's that everyone else kind of like lost some punch, because the real power was all in Emma and the guy who plays Gold. Even though Gold's in a coma, you see her dealing with the Dark One in his shape. And then we brought Merida in. I'm going to spoil that right now. That's a reason to go watch, not a spoiler. And I loved, even if the accent wasn't real good and wasn't thick enough for me, but great to see that character out there. I love that character. And I really enjoy everything except for the last 5 minutes of this. Now, the last 5 minutes are great on their own, but we do another memory wipe, so we don't know what the fuck happened. And it's all a device just to get us to the more interesting bits now, so that you're more invested in the season later, so we can flash back to the more boring shit in a more palatable way. And it's a writing tool. I get it. But I'd rather just have a sequential story for once. This is good enough and powerful enough in the first episode that I'm sold. I'm watching this season. You got me. Castle. I have no idea what the labeling is there for the seasons. But Castle started getting a little happy. I mean, Beckett and Castle were together. There weren't any killers trying to kill Beckett anymore. Castle's successful. He's rich. He's still popular. His daughter's off to college. There was so many things that were right in the world, so we had to figure out how to destroy that. Tux, I was in a moment. Stay over there. Fine, I'll pet you. So, how do we deconstruct this? Let's bring back the thing where Beckett's investigating her mom's murder, where she's getting shot. Let's go back to things like that. How do we make that happen? Well, we just do it, and we'll make up an explanation later. That's exactly how the story was presented. Obviously, chronologically, that's not what happens. But like, it's she disappears. She's on the run. She's hiding secrets of the castle. She's lying. He's getting shot at. She's getting shot at. It's all sorts of crazy. It's all the good crazy that we had back before they were married and happy. And throughout that whole first episode, not only do you have all this going on, but then you also have Castle's daughter showing up, going, "Oh yeah, I've been running your business for like 3 months. Here's some cases I closed. Look at all the remodeling we did." And they run into a British detective or security agent. That's right, she was a security agent. So they get some on-the-job training there. We see Castle obviously needs to carry a gun. He just does. He just does at this point. And he's a decent shot. He's been working at it. Wait for that. It's totally worth it. So the first episode is all building up. What's going on, until you finally figure out, and I'll spoil this because it's a reason to watch, not so much a true spoiler, that she is keeping secrets from him, because I already said that one. But we have no idea what's going on. So the episode 2 is all about trying to dig that out and figure out what's going on and get to a reasonable conclusion, because honestly, by episode 2, you figured out some things that I didn't tell you, which would be spoilers, and then you use those things to figure out what's actually happening and resolve the issues. And of course, it's a bigger conspiracy thing, so anything you're thinking while you're watching, take it one step up towards the place you can't imagine. It's gonna be a fantastic season. Tell already, it's gonna be chock full of action. Real quick, some of the things that I am looking at watching. Moon Boy apparently had some stuff come out. I'll never get back to American Horror Story. I just think that's a fact. There's some anime, Future Diary, No Game, No Life, Kimi no... I don't know why these are on my list, if I'm looking at it honestly. But shows you might actually recognize: Minority Report, Heroes Reborn, and Best Time Ever with Neil Patrick Harris. I am definitely looking forward to watching these. I just haven't got around to it. Hopefully they're shorter shows and I can fit them in. That seems to be the best thing for me right now, is like short 20-minute episodes that I don't have to fight with their advertisements. I will get back to that, I promise. Okay, so we're done there. Under the Dome has wrapped. Season 3 is over on CBS. Zoo Season 1 is over, and I hope it's canceled. There's nothing more I think we can do with this show. I like everybody there. I'm very thankful for their performances and everybody's work on the show. But it was a weird premise and a weird application of that premise, and I don't want any more. I want you all to go on and do other things so I can watch you there. Big Bang Theory is starting to get interesting again. There was a big slump. We're going into Season 9. I would say about Season 3 it took a turn. And then I think when they decided to extend it out to Season 9, because I think this is supposed to be the last season, if I'm right. So seasons like 5 through 8 are probably just above, not garbage, but they actually have bad episodes. There are no bad episodes, I think, through Season 3. Season 4 has weird episodes. And then now we're actually seeing Sheldon having relationship problems, along with Leonard and Penny dealing with being married. And the resolutions on one side of that coin are surprisingly quick, where the other one is overly serious. And I think they've done it the right way, that this is actually going to be an interesting season, and they're going to be able to go out on a big point where they all split up and go their own ways. They're going to try to do what Friends did, where everybody like, oh, we've been here forever, but now we're going to go do this. That's my prediction, anyways. I started to watch Life in Pieces. Which actually has the second episode out. I really wish I'd watched that beforehand, because I watched the pilot, which is a quick 20-minute comedy. I wish this picture would stay, because there is... Okay, so there's a grandpa and a grandma. There is a son and his wife, who just had, like, literally, like, that's their introduction in the first episode, is them having a baby. Then there is the daughter and her husband, who is a doctor, and there are 3 kids. That's right. And then there's the son, who is like the free-spirited loser type. So it's real interesting. It's another big family dynamic type thing on a comedy basis. I think it's not going to be a replacement for Modern Family. I don't think it's going to be a true competitor, but it's got Zoe Lister-Jones. It's got... God, what is this guy's name? Her husband, I recognize. I really like. Actually, the loser brother is actually pretty good too. And the parents are nice. I don't know any of the kids. Obviously, they're young. But I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes, and I'm definitely going to save Life in Pieces. I hate Windows so much. I will talk to you later. I'm going to save Life in Pieces to watch later. I'm not watching this show, but I just want a real golf clap for Tay Leone. She used to be a 2-bit comedy lady, and now she is playing a role where she gets to act as as the president and Madam Secretary. So good for her. And speaking of good for her, it's not out yet. It is on October 26th. Supergirl, Melissa Benoit. I don't understand how you can have different spellings of Benoit, but okay. Friggin' Canadians. So I'm super excited about that. Also, on the following week we have Mom and Angel from Hell. I'm really looking forward to all 3 of these shows on CBS, and they're doing a good job over there. I need to go see if NBC's still doing TV at this point. I've not seen anything that I note from them in a while. Nothing on Prime, because the only thing I was really watching there is Under the Dome. I really wish I could get more shows watched on here. I really do. I like the Prime membership, but I want to make the most out of my subscriptions wherever I'm putting money at, and I really feel like I don't utilize it enough, and I don't know how to make it any better. Yeah, so if you got a suggestion, go for it. You were too big to jump like that. Wow. Let's see. TV Land. Jim Gaffigan Show Season 1 has wrapped, along with X's. Teachers is not coming out until January, so I can't watch that. I keep wanting to watch Younger, and then I go and look at it, and I'm just like, no. So there's something that's not quite reaching me, but I'm actually looking forward to Teachers for some reason. The concept intrigues me. Scream on MTV.com. Season 1 episodes 1 through 9 are available right now. On the 2nd, so by next week, the 10th episode will be available again. I don't know why they do this. It doesn't make any sense. You're just hurting your own ratings, especially since Scream Queens has started. But we're wrapped up into this tight knot of like false security, because with Branson in jail, the other teammate is still out there, obviously, and making muck. And we see an appearance, and we see application, and we see reason for the protagonist to be afraid as an audience member, but they don't see it yet, except for a couple people stringing clues together. But it feels like nobody is taking this like super seriously, even after like it was ultimately proven and all the secrets were revealed, everybody would have PTSD, post-traumatic, Jesus, post-traumatic stress, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. They'd have PTSD. Wow, I'm glad that's on the internet. PTSD, and like they would be in shock, and they would not believe that it would be safe. They would actively be fighting against it. So I'm really episode 9's got me pumped for episode 10. I'm really waiting to see where it goes because the whole show's been very dramatic. Even if it's got funny moments and good characters and action in it, it's been a drama through and through. And I will come back to comments on that. HBO now can go fuck itself because it's not telling me when Game of Thrones and Silicon Valley start back up. I meant to go look for that, and I got distracted. So, yeah, so when those start back up, I start giving you money again. So you should let me know when that's going to be. You pile of dicks. Okay. I have things saved to remind me that I need to eventually go figure them out because Make It or Break It and Pretty Little Liars on ABC Family have me very confused about where I am in their stories, if I'm up to date at all. And then Young and Hungry did a weird thing where it stopped halfway through its second season, and now it looks like it started back up. As early as the 26th of August, they've got shows, so I may actually go and catch up. Now, on their site, it's only got the latest 2 episodes, or the episodes from the 26th and the 2nd of September available, 12 and 13. Up to 17 is out, but you have to sign in to watch, so if you don't have your cable subscription, you're boned. And then Switch to Birth is apparently doing something similar, but I think I'm going to pass on ABC Family for a bit until I can sort out how to watch it all on a binge, because that's the way to do it. And for Switch to Birth, I do like to actually watch because I like to get into the sign language. Not that I really know it, but it makes me feel like I'm trying, I guess. I don't know. And I'm really bothered that I don't know where I'm at in Pretty Little Liars. It's such a good story. I think I'm just at the beginning of this season, season 6. And I don't know that for sure. I need to watch Elysium. For whatever reason, like FX now like has their little schedule at the bottom, like anyone's gonna pay attention to that. Married in the Strain are things I need to catch up on. Crunchyroll's a thing where you can go watch anime, because yay. I think the number one thing that I am looking forward to coming up for TV shows, and I thought it was going to be a Showtime, but it's ended up on the CW, is Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Rachel Bloom's show. Apparently she is adding music to it. I think I said that as a joke, and she actually did it. So I don't know how that's going to work out for her, because it's going to end up like the Muppets without Muppets. But Rachel knows what she's doing when it comes to comedy music. I have trust in her, and she's hot, so that's going to help her out with the show. I'm not saying you have to be hot to be successful. I'm not trying to objectify her. I'm saying it's a fact. She's statistically attractive, and it's going to help people want to watch her show. And I want her show to be successful. Me wanting to bang her has nothing to do with anything I just said. She makes jokes about... Now, granted, it's different when you make jokes about yourself, but she's made jokes saying that she's got, like, a word for best titties in a basement or something. Like it was a really funny joke. And she's not above or doing things for comedy. I don't know why it didn't come up. Oh, maybe I skipped it. Scream Queens. Scream Queens is awesome. Now the pilot was, I think, an extra long episode. It's being done as a comedy slasher film. So really should have brought up IMDb for this list. But it only has like 2 people in the entire thing that aren't awful. I think it's Grace and Zayday. But you'll recognize faces all over the place. Leah Michelle's in it. Emma, not Watson. Roberts. God, I can't wait for her to get killed. I'm sorry, she's awful. She's like Queen Bitch, essentially. I don't even want to ruin that. Everything's so good. And there's already been, like, in the first episode, like 4 murders. It's ridiculous. They're just going to town on this, and it's got this wonderful thing because it's the good girls versus the evil Kappa Scream Queens, or the Plastics, if you will, and then the administration versus the sorority, and then you've got all these other weird relationships going on. Like there's a upper class fraternity that's involved with the sorority. You've got Grace's dad in the mix. You've got sister alumni that's in the mix. Real quick, so Skylar Samuels is doing a really good job. Emma Roberts, of course, is overselling being a bitch. Leah Michelle is basically who she was on Glee with a neck brace. I can't really say like I'm a big fan of that. Abigail Breslin is who I was looking for. One of the things I hate most, I can't stand it, is that they renamed them with Chanel, like the Emma Roberts character's name, and they put numbers on them. No. You don't lose your identity like that. Jamie Lee Curtis is doing an awesome job as the dean. Got Oliver Hudson. I think he's playing the dad. Keke Palmer Zayday. I do not hate her. Her and Grace are like the good pledges. Oh, Nassim Pedrad. Oh, that's Mulaney's friend. Okay. She's the one that likes Daddy. Keke Palmer, good on you, Keke. There was one other thing I wanted to mention before I left this. Deaf Taylor Swift. I hate that I adopted that and I didn't actually learn her name. But I think it's because they didn't actually say it, which is supposed to lean towards knowing that she's going to die. Which is a horrible, horrible like broadcast to do. It's just bad. But the like Scream, it's very much trying to be a parody of what it is, which can be irritating to some degree, but at the same time, go for it. Why not? Oh, that was Ariana Grande? That was her? Oh, jeez. Okay. So if you like her, she's in it. Do not make me search Taylor Swift for this. Jesus. I really wanted to give her credit because I like... Really? I really wanted to give her credit because I really like the idea of using a deaf character. And they do her little accent really well. But I cannot find her on this stupid page. And I don't really want to just click on all the blonde chicks. Oh, that might be her. So hold on. Whitney Mayer. So good on you, Whitney Mayer. I don't know if you're actually deaf. Born deaf, yep, in Dallas, Texas. Oh, that matters. Yay. But I'm liking it. I can't expect everything to be that first episode, but I'm really glad they went all out on the pilot and really got it done. They obviously have a budget to float them for a while. Really looking forward to it. I'm going to go because I'm tired as shit and I'm not feeling good again because I'm dying ever so slowly. But I'm going to watch Life in Pieces. I'm going to watch whatever I can to put me to sleep, and I'm going to deal with Windows. So I think it's about that time. Until you see me next time, I am Kamurai. Have a nice day. If you want to see anything else we're up to, go ahead and click the annotations, and they'll take you to our other channels. Thanks for watching.